It's a real mess, that the tram business in Edinburgh. Moving now with a gear change to web transplants. I'm getting all over the place now. Fabio Capello says Wayne Rooney has got his mojo back since having a hair transplant at the tender age of 25. But a leading hair surgeon has told us this morning that is just too young.
We spend more time in a consultation with a young person than somebody else who is actually suitable for a hair transplant, trying to explain to them all the warnings and the risks. They are more anxious and their expectations are much higher as well. And they don't have the sort of the foresight into one day they're going to be 30, 40, 50 and that they will still care about their looks. So yes, we counsel them a lot more than somebody else who's, say, 40 and suitable.
It's deadly serious, this, for people. Specs, not his real name, has had 8 hair transplants. His first at 24 years old. He now runs a website called specshair.com, an online forum which gives advice on coping with hair loss and treatments for it. Specs, hello to you. Good morning.
Morning, Nicky. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, it's good of you to talk to us. Tell us about the many procedures that you've had.
Oh, well, I've had several procedures over the years. First started out when I was 24 and I was very vulnerable and very naive, and as a consequence of that was misled and oversold particular procedures, and then unfortunately left me in a bit of a tangled web and needed to get repaired, and my journey spanned over 10 years, and as a consequence of my journey and all my experience, I've set up my website, specshair.com, to help educate and keep people safe and get them informed so that they can take the vulnerability out of the equation and get educated, because the industry is very brutal. It's a very brutal, hungry industry for money, unfortunately, and it preys on the vulnerable and the young.
And you had your first when you were 24, and overall this has cost you thousands of pounds over the years.
Oh, indeed. It's cost me in the region of £40,000 from start to finish. And, it's been an emotional journey as well as a financial one. And one, unfortunately, that young guys need to be well aware of, that it is a financial commitment. It's a long-term commitment. And the secret to a good hair transplant fundamentally is preventing further loss. And that's why getting on appropriate medications to prevent further loss will enable them to, in a sense, require fewer hair transplants rather than chasing their tail, hair transplant after hair transplant, as hair does progress. And I have set up a free report on my website to enable people to get accurate information with regards to appropriate medication on specshair.com.
You've had some good transplants, you've had some not so great ones, but you keep having them. Are you addicted to them?
Addiction is, you could call it addiction or need. There's need and want, and a lot of people fundamentally do essentially want hair transplants. However, if you have an inappropriate hair transplant, you'll often find that you do need further work, and that was the situation that I was in. And because I started out so young with inappropriate hair restoration, I needed to have further work.
Well, by inappropriate, I mean, did it look ridiculous?
No problem. Yeah. It looked unnatural. It was outdated techniques, which there's only several clinics in the world I would trust my personal head with after 10 years of research and interacting with tens of thousands of guys. However, there are thousands of clinics offering, referring to themselves as the leading surgeon, leading technique in the world. This is unfortunately the nature of the industry. There's a great deal of misrepresentation going on, as we've seen. There's a great deal of exposure in the media at the moment with regards to so-called celebrities having hair restoration performed, and their results, in my opinion, are being truly misrepresented.
All right, last question, because we're heading towards the news.
Sure.
What's wrong with being bald?
Good question, Nicky, and I appreciate you've got a fantastic head of hair, and
I'm lucky.
You are very lucky, and fair play to you. What's wrong with going bald? Nothing. It's just it's a personal thing, a self-esteem, a confidence thing, and until you start losing your hair and you experience it on an emotional level, it's very hard to comprehend. But if you do, you understand, and you want to do everything you can to help prevent further loss and restore lost hair, so you can improve your self-esteem and confidence. It's a very personal thing, but it is a hidden epidemic, believe it or not.
Thank you. All the best to you.
That was Specs. Liam, the weather.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. Cloudy and breezy today for Scotland and Northern Ireland, but sunny and warm for England and Wales, highs of 20 to 26.